Welcome to Oilers Nation Everyday with your hosts, Tyler and Liam.
Ooh, Liam, that's good. Why don't you pass me that 2-goal lead over here? And I fucked it. Let's get into it with the lead. Get it? Because the Oilers fumble 2-goal leads.
Hey.
There we go. Apologies to anyone listening on podcast form. That won't make a ton of sense to you, but we wrote 2-goal lead on a puck and then dropped it. Just like the Oilers dropped another 2-goal lead last night and dropped another hockey game to the Dallas Stars. I'm not going to lie. It's getting a little old, everybody.
I believe, okay, so there was one tweet, it got deleted, so I'm assuming it's wrong.
Classic.
And then DJ Bean told me today, it's 4 games that they have had a 2-goal lead and blown it and lost. Mm-hmm. But then someone else had a 6-goal lead, 6 games they've done it. But I wonder if, like, the Montreal game was maybe involved in it. Because they had a 2-goal lead in that game, fumbled it, but then won.
Because there was another game that they fumbled it and won, too.
Because the Canadians couldn't kill penalties.
Yeah.
And then there must have been another one.
Utah, they were down 2-0 and came back and won.
That's right. So there's been 6 games this season. Yeah, they were down 2-0 and won.
Yeah, but they weren't up 2-0.
Oh, they didn't fumble the lead. That's right.
Who's the other one that they fumbled it in? Calgary, they got a point. Devils, they lost. Yeah.
Yeah, they never had a 2-goal lead. So maybe it's 4 games. They've had a 2-goal lead and lost. 5 games they've had a 2-goal lead.
Ottawa, they came back and won. They had a 2-goal lead, blew it, and still won.
There's
so
been
6.
6 of the games they've had a 2-goal lead. 2 of them they've won in.
Yeah. So they've blown
that's almost 50-50.
Nope. They've had a 2-goal lead 6 times this season. They've blown a 2-goal lead 6 times this season. They've lost 4 of those games. They've still held on and won 2 of them. It's again not great. Not great. Welcome into today's show. We are live from the Sports Closet studio. Check them out online at sportscloset.ca. From jerseys to hats to the legendary foam finger. You'll find all and more by visiting them at the Sports Closet. The show, also a presentation of Bet365. Download the app today. Use the promo code NATION, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365. We will break down this hockey game. We will talk about a couple of interesting things that have popped up over the last 24 hours, including some stuff from Craig Button that I really, really want to rip into. We also have our Spotify question, which 14 people answered on Spotify.
16.
Whoa.
Yeah, we're climbing. It was 12, and I looked this morning, 16. So
can you send me the link to where I can read the comments?
Yeah, I can.
All right. Thank you very much.
Where's my phone?
We'll get into those a little bit later. For those of you listening along on Spotify, answering the question, we'll give you all some love. And then we'll also throw you a new question of the day. We're also going to be joined by Colby Cohen coming up in about 20 minutes' time. He's going to give us an outsider's view, a professional hockey player's view on Bouchard's struggles, the Oilers' flat start, and everything else that goes into it. But for now, let's dig into the hockey game last night. It is our game recap, and it's brought to you by our friends at Greta, our go-to party spot in Edmonton. Arcade, bar, street food, the football game, pinball, Pop-A-Shot, beers.
It's taking me a long time to get.
Can I keep going? Shout out to our friends at Greta, right in the heart of downtown Edmonton. Again, this is a hockey game that started off really, really well for the Edmonton Oilers. Not in the sense of, like, they weren't dominating the Dallas Stars in the early moments of this hockey game. Not at all. But what they were doing was getting timely goals. The first one, Podkolzin off a great little one-handed feed by Jack Roslovic.
Outstanding one. Like, to hold off Thomas Harley like that.
Yeah.
And then have your hand, like, so loosely on the stick and then get it across like that. This is an amazing goal, to be honest.
Yeah. To get it across with that amount of pace, like, it is a great goal. And listen, this was not a one-off for Jack Roslovic last night. He had a couple of shifts where he was buzzing, creating turnovers, and I'm talking more mainly early in the game. But Roslovic with a great pass, Podkolzin, that second line looked good, and it was like, all right, a good little start for the Oilers. They finally got some 5-on-5 offense going, which has been rare for them over the last couple of games. We dug into this earlier in the week. It's an area where the Oilers have really, really struggled this season, producing offense at 5-on-5. Jack Roslovic getting going at the same time or around the same time when hopefully Zach Hyman's coming back, that gives me reason to believe that the 5-on-5 offense can pick up a little bit.
I would agree, because that second line, they'll stay together, and even Mangiapane's been doing pretty well at 5-on-5 too. Obviously, the goal against St. Louis, and then also, did he get I think he got the secondary assist on the McDavid goal as well yesterday. So, yeah, the top 6 is going. It's kind of interesting because there was points earlier in the season where it's like, okay, the bottom six is actually contributing quite consistently when the top six wasn't, and that seemed to be the missing piece. And now it's flipped, where the top guys are going. McDavid's obviously leading the league in points, and Draisaitl tied for first in goals. So,
which is insane to think about, because I know some of you guys were debating this in the YouTube chat, that like, hey, have the Stars looked like the Stars? Connor McDavid leads the NHL in points. Also, last game, he had more, and I said this after Chicago, and I even said it after the loss to St. Louis on Monday. He is having more and more moments where you're like, man, is Connor McDavid back to being Connor McDavid? That shift where he stripped Harley of the puck and then used his body to angle him off, wildly impressive stuff from 97. He is fully back. Any concerns I had, any concerns that you at home had, crumple him up, throw him out. Connor McDavid is still Connor McDavid, in case you didn't know.
Yeah, he's starting to come around quite a bit, even to like hitting the post yesterday, like to get that shot away. I know it was a very simple shot to get away, sorry.
Yeah.
We've seen him pass that many times before, so it was good to see him have the confidence, I guess we can call it. It seems like a weird word to put with McDavid, but to actually shoot the puck was good to see. Unfortunate that it hit the post. But then he got his goal, I guess.
He did get his goal. So the Oilers are up 1-0. They extend their lead to 2-0. Leon Draisaitl, 10th of the year, ties him for the most in the NHL. It's on the power play from, guess who? Jack Roslovic. Picking up a second point here in this opening period as you're watching along on YouTube here. Just a nice feed, and disgusting. One of those goals that like legitimately only Leon Draisaitl can score.
Yeah, I don't know. I tweeted yesterday, I was like, I don't know how he does this. And someone promptly reminded me, because he's a top 3 player in the NHL. I was like, yeah, you're right. But still, like, he ends, like, his body ends up over the goal, the red line. Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me how this one even goes in until even attempts it. But just a side note, I took the lead in the challenge yesterday for us because I had Jack Roslovic power play point. And that was a juicy
one, Liam. So it's 2-0 Oilers. And I tweeted, I was like, pedal to the floor, beat them by 1,000,000. Yeah. Dallas is starting their backup. You are up 2-0. They're missing a whole bunch of really good players. Like, zero reason why Dallas should get back into this hockey game. Now, starting their backup, who is a decent backup.
He's a good backup,
fine. Missing good players, but still with plenty of good players in their lineup. And then they get a pretty big break halfway through the second period. That penalty on Leon Draisaitl for knocking down Mikko Rantanen, crazy soft. Draisaitl let Rantanen hear it. He kind of put his hands up and was doing the whole like, whoa, what are you talking about? He dove. He felt pressure on his back, and he dove to draw a penalty. Gamesmanship, sure. Shitty call by the refs, yes. This is why, as a fan base, when you have a game like the one against Montreal 2 weeks ago, where you win on the back of getting a couple of good calls, do not apologize for it. Do not sit there and say we didn't deserve that one, because there are also going to be games where you do deserve to win, where you don't get the calls. I mean, we can even go back to that game against St. Louis. They got one power play. That's bullshit.
Yeah, even the game, they came out on the good side of it, but to go through that New York Rangers game and not get a power play as well, that's what we said at the time of the Montreal fans when they were freaking out. It's just like everyone gets like 5-6 games in the season where the refs benefit them, and they probably get the same where they don't benefit them. And it's just, it figures itself out along the way. But yeah, I did not like the call. And again, as we roll this clip through, it's just, we talked about this a bit yesterday with the Bouchard era against St. Louis, but like, it's just a bit too chaotic for the Oilers. And Bouchard ends up on the wrong side of his goaltender. And all of a sudden, on Mikko Rantanen bobblehead night, I don't know if you heard about that. He gets his goal, but again, like, I think, what is it? Stu makes the initial save. They get another shot. It might hit the post, Stu, whatever it may be. And then on a third attempt, you know what I mean? Like, you can't allow the power play, which you spoke about being like one of the best in the NHL, to have 3 clean shot attempts.
Yeah. Stu stops the first one. It hits the post, but you're not going to ding a goalie for a shot hitting the post. What could he have done there? Like, he might have stopped it if it was on net. But, like, he stops the first one. The second one stays out. Someone needs to clear a rebound, get a puck out of there at some point. So this one definitely not on Stu. I mean, you also gave Mikko Rantanen a look in the wide open slot. So
for a while.
Yeah, and then there's a guy back door. Like, frustrating D-zone coverage, but that's not a goal where, like, I sit there and get mad. I'm just like, shit like that happens. Puck bounces right to it, whatever. Sure, you're still up 2-1 at that point. You should be able to, again, put the pedal down and win this hockey game. And it looked like they were going to do that. Connor McDavid gets his 4th of the year off just a slick little feed from Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. And you know what I like about this? As the camera zooms into McDavid, fired up.
He's excited.
Look at that. Look at that. The big point, the gritted teeth, giving Nuge some love for the great feed. Mangiapane doing a good job with the puck in traffic. Terrific stuff. Love the passion from 97. Love that he just got this thing, didn't hesitate. Quick little tap and rips it upstairs. That's good. Give me more of that. Connor McDavid leading the NHL in points. That was his second of 2 points on the evening as well. Great stuff.
Great stuff.
Great stuff.
I really thought this was...
Nail in the coffin.
They've overcome it.
Yep.
They've overcome it. And McDavid, obviously, as we mentioned, hit the post just before this as well. So good to see him get these opportunities again. And again, Connor McDavid's still having a really good season. I'm not discrediting that. But we all know he said in preseason or whenever it was, he wanted to score more.
Yep.
He's up to 4 now on the season. Can he get rolling? He needs to be a bit more consistent in his scoring.
Mulek, that puck did hit Skinner directly in the glove on the Rantanen goal. Okay.
Sure.
If one of the best players in the NHL is standing in the slot, I'm not going to complain about how my goalie keeps it out. I'm just going to be happy he keeps it out.
Yeah, a stop is good. I mean, sure, you maybe glove it, I guess. And that's fine, a fair criticism, I
don't
suppose,
think it is at all.
I'm not, I'm more worried about, him being left wide open on the back post. This is the thing, you can't allow Dallas to have 3 attempts on goal. And sure, maybe it could have been prevented on the first one, but I think that's maybe a bit too critical.
Okay, so it's 3-1. Mikko Rantanen gets his second of the game, 7th of the year, makes it 3-2. Again...
I put this one on the forwards more than the defenseman a little bit. I think Nurse could have hung around in the middle of the ice a little bit.
Roslovic has to back check.
So the puck it's not in this full thing. It goes off. Draisaitl makes a pass to Roslovic. Roslovic can't connect with it. Roslovic on his way back takes 3 really hard strides, but then slows down and then just doesn't allow it. And the other part about this too that I didn't which from Roslovic's standpoint is this goes off Rantanen's skate first. It wasn't a clean pass right to his stick. He had to kind of control it a little bit and then brings it up. It's okay, Roslovic, if you were taking a few more strides ahead of that, maybe you could have caught up to that guy. And
totally.
And it's just you can't just take the shift that moment off. And again, you're giving Mikko Rantanen, who most people had as a Rocket Richard candidate this season, a clear opportunity to score in the slot. And again, it comes from a turnover up the ice. If the Oilers back check a little bit harder, maybe it can prevent a goal from going in. And it seems to be the problem is when they're allowing these late goals, it's coming from not playing hard enough.
Mm-hmm. And someone said Draisaitl goes for a skate after the missed pass. Yeah, it's a sloppy pass that misses his guy, and then nobody wants to hustle to make up for the mistake. So that's the kind of play that I think really, really irritates people. It's 3-2. Again, getting to the final 10 minutes of the game, you're up 3-2. Should be able to do something. And yeah, not sure why Nurse and Wallman are on the same side of the ice on that rush attempt, though. That one made no sense. And then here again, Nurse and Wallman on the ice as this one... people want to blame Skinner's lateral movement. I would have more time for it if the puck didn't deflect off a shin pad and go wide. Well, Skinner and Pat, maybe we can pause it right here, or we'll let it go back through again. That's fine. But I just want to pause on when it's coming around. The puck gets released as a shot on goal. Skinner... Yeah. What are we expecting him to process in this one? What if this one hits a shin pad and goes wide? Right here, he's reading shot, and the shot's coming on net. He needs to play that as if it's not going to get blocked. And to his credit, he fully does. He can't read and react off a puck hitting a shin pad, taking an insane bounce off the boards. I don't even know how the physics work of hitting a shin pad, deflecting the other way, and then shooting out that way to Heiskanen. It's a terrible bounce. It's a terrible, 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 terrible bounce.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and for him to react to that, I don't think many goalies are going to react to that because he's square to the shot, like you said.
Yeah.
Again, it's similar to the second goal. I don't know if we have on this one. Sorry, I've been watching it at the other end, but you can see if you watch the live action, Jake Wallman is further up the ice, and Nuge is the one who is coming back. Oh, it's just a little bit ahead of this. That's too bad. But Wallman's literally pointing at Nuge, who's in the middle, being Miro Heiskanen, get him. And Nuge looks the other way instead of looking at Heiskanen. And he might be able to see it in here at the top. And it's just dude, how is he able to kind of walk in like that so quickly? Yeah. And it also, too, they mentioned it on the broadcast, maybe a side of home ice advantage in a way. Like, the puck maybe bounced off the boards a little harder in this rink, sure. But like also too, it's about not giving up on a play.
Well, that too.
Like that's the side of it. Is like Miro Heiskanen doesn't give up. He drives the net in case that is to happen.
Yeah. And
Nugent Hopkins, again, we talked about it from the Rangers game the other day when Braden Schneider gets his chance from the slot. Nuge is a bit sloppy coming back, and I'm not just picking on him. That was just a recent example. Like we talked about already with Roslovic. It's like if the forwards are back checking a little bit harder, the Oilers are winning this game 3-1, or maybe it's 3-2, whatever. They're probably closing out a game is the point, and then Dallas gets a fortunate bounce, and I know everyone's going to point at it and be like, oh my God, 2 shots on 4 when you look at the box score. But when you look at those 2 attempts, I just can't sit here and be like, how did the goalies do this to us?
Pat, can you find the goal from St. Louis where Pickard is the Robert Thomas goal, whatever one that was?
It was the second goal.
Second goal against St. Louis, because this year just put into the chat, he's like, Calvin Pickard let in a very similar goal, and you guys thought it was a bad goal for him to let in. Not even close to comparable.
The second... Oh, no, I don't think they're comparable, because I think Pickard was not even in a position to do much.
No.
I think it's just very road hockey. We know his style. Is it going to linger in the NHL for much longer? I don't think in Edmonton, to be honest. I think they're probably going to be looking elsewhere, but... Again, like the expected goals last night for Dallas was 2.
Yeah.
They scored 2 5-5 goals. Like I just don't really, I don't know. And I get it. And sometimes you're looking like, I wish our goalie would stop that. And I fully get that. And I feel that way sometimes too. But like, the luck of the two of them is like, you're giving Mikko Rantanen just a clean shot from the slot when you're putting him under no pressure when a puck goes off his damn skate and he's able to have, he's only a split second, but enough time to corral it and bring it to his shooting position and score. And again, an unfortunate bounce on the third one, I think. But overall, I don't think Stuart Skinner was. I thought he played okay. The Oilers gave up 11 high danger chances yesterday. 4 of them coming in the third period. There you go. So no way.
Okay. So here's why I don't like this goal.
Offside?
Oh shit, probably pretty close.
Whoa, something to think about there.
Comes across, he makes the one save, he makes the save and then slides another 3 feet out. Like that's on Pickard falling to his knees and not being able to play on his edges at all. Like totally different than, and also Pickard's the one who kicks out this rebound. If this was a bad bounce off the end boards, like the goal that Skinner gave up had a blocked shot, a shitty ricochet that within a quarter of a second is in the back of the net. This one's different because he makes the save, kicks the rebound to a bad spot, and then has pulled himself so far out of position that, I don't know, or maybe he doesn't kick out the rebound, it misses the net, but still, like, he overcommits to this. Like, there's that variable, I think, is very important.
I think so as well. I don't think those 2 goals are really in the same stratosphere, to be honest. This is the expected goals thing, because Tyler in the chat points out, is that he had a plus first period goal differential. His goal differential in the first period, expected goal, for Dallas was 1. And then in the third period, it was under 1, like 1, I guess, 1.75. But it's like, how are neither of those goals expected goals? You got one right in the slot and one wide open on the back door. I'd have to see which one's which. But it's like, that's why it's such an interesting stat, I think. But again, I think Skinner was fine. I don't really blame him for much last night. He was fine. He's playing literally average. Like all these numbers right now are league average. Yeah. What did you see? What are you seeing in there?
Papa G, I think you want Stu to make a save on one of those goals again. Certainly make a save in the shootout, but I think he played acceptable just last night. You can't just come to the end of every single hockey game and go, I should have had one more of those. Because it totally negates every other good save he makes. Like if Skinner, he made a bunch of good saves in the first period. He made a bunch of good saves in that game in general. How many shots did he face in overtime? Like, I don't know. You can't just always sit there and be like, well, you'd like him to have one more. I don't know. They did not lose that game. He made 3 saves in OT. And again, if one of those goes in, you sit there and go, oh, well, he just would have had to make one more save. Like, you can't just do that. It can't every game be like, well, he's got to stop one more. Oh, he's got to stop one more. Like, I don't know. It's just infuriating. He stopped 11 shots in the first period. In the first shift of the game, he had to make 2 really good saves.
Jason Robinson just allowed to walk right in.
And Skinner stoned him. Like, he made big saves last night. Yes, he gave up 3 goals. none of them were horrible. And this also goes back to people who in the games where Skinner will give up 2 goals and one of them's a little soft, they'll be like, well, he's got to cut out the soft one. He didn't give up any soft goals against Dallas. Like, we can't be having goaltending conversations after every bleeping game, you guys.
The Ian puts in the chat, is Oilers Nation just hoping Skinner will be Kemper of 2022 and Hill of 2023? To be honest, my expectations for him aren't that high. Is maybe it comes across poorly sometimes, and I get it. But, like, I just don't think he's as bad as people make him out to be. I think he's a very standard goalie. Could the Oilers improve in that position? 100%. I just don't think there's, like, a legit solution in there for them to go and do it. I think it's more likely they upgrade on Pickard at some point this season, as you mentioned yesterday on the show, Tyler. Like, you'd be stunned if they go into the playoffs with this duo. Yes. And I think they will try and figure it out this year. And sure, you can look back and be like, Mackenzie Blackwood, whoever else it may be, and been free agents in the past. Like, they've made an error with the Jack Campbell, and there's no denying it. But, like, I don't think there's maybe one, I guess you can say Calgary off the top of my head, that you can look at it and be like, Skinner cost him 2 points tonight. And I just don't think last night was one of them. And I actually don't think people have been, like, that critical of him today in comparison.
No, but someone even says, was he the best goalie last night? Yes. He outperformed Casey DeSmith, and it wasn't even particularly close. The Oilers' offense isn't creating enough danger.
They had 3 last night. 3 high-danger chances at 5-on-5 the Oilers had against the Dallas Stars, which was 2 in the first period, 0 in the second, and 1 in the third for Dallas, just so people know. 5 in the first period, 2 in the second, 4 in the third period. So, correct me if I'm wrong, Tyler, because I might be.
I have one more comment I'm pissed about.
I was going to say, if they had 4 high-danger chances for Dallas, does that mean the 4 shots they had? Did they only have 4 shots in the third period yesterday? They must have had more. Maybe it was just 4 when...
They had 12 in the third period.
Okay, so it was just 4 when he allowed 2 on the 4 shot. Okay, got it. Never mind them. Go on, what are you upset about?
Someone in the comments just said, if Skinner has a goals against average below 3 in the playoffs, the Oilers win the Stanley Cup. He literally did both years. 2 years in a row. His goals against average is below 3 in the Stanley Cup playoffs. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
And it's just so dumb because people watch these games with Skinner and they watch these games with Bouchard, and I already know they're doing it with Frederic as well.
Frederic's a huge conversation right now, and
I just don't want to. We'll have it later. But, like, people watch these games and they move the goalposts, and it's almost like you come into the night being like, I wonder how I can pin this one on Stu. I wonder how Bouchard can cost this game for us. And then you watch the game only through that lens, and you fucking hate him at the end of the night. And it just doesn't matter. Like, goalies can play well, and you can still lose the game. Oh. It's infuriating, man. The expected goals last night at all strengths were 4.2 to 2.6 for the Dallas Stars. Edmonton had the better goalie in that game, and it was not close. Good Lord, people. Figure it out. Or just fucking grow up. Like, God damn it. Stuart Skinner's not going anywhere in the next 2 months.
Just on Trent Frederic, because we may as well. He's an interesting case right now. Obviously, the frustration is he has 1 goal. So, 1 point, not only goal. Ended up being a game-winning goal in a game the Oilers only scored 1. I wasn't on an empty net. I like his physicality the last few games. 5 hits again last night. No shots on goal, and I'm not trying to excuse the offense by any means. It needs to come around. It's been a few games now where he's been able to have an impact on the game. I would say over the past week, it's good to see that side of him. Last night, what was it? I think it was Savoy who got the cross-check from Liam Bouchard, and Frederic's the one who gets in there. And I think that would have been a fight if Bouchard didn't fall down to the ice. I appreciate that from Frederic. I hope he can find his offense. Obviously, any kind of offense would be great. Decent pass as well in the St. Louis game to get it to Curtis Lazar through the legs there. I don't want to say it's coming because I'm not fully convinced yet either, but at least he's doing that, which I think is a positive thing.
It's also, I see someone say it's the defense's fault. Good Lord, they prevent chance, 3rd best shots against per 60 at 5-on-5. The defense has its blow-ups where they look really bad, but as a whole, the defense is fine. I'm willing to say that this blue line is in a slump. They're not a bad blue line.
Oh, 100%.
They will figure this shit out.
Yeah.
This whole team will figure this shit out. Anyways.
I think from looking at the goals and looking at a few other things too, the last few games, I think it's kind of a bit of a collective defensive effort. That's more of the problem rather than just like, it's the blue line. It's like, well, I don't know.
Jack Roslovic.
I was going to say, look at the last two yesterday. Roslovic, Nugent Hopkins doesn't pick up his guy. I think, and this is why someone put it up earlier. I think his name was Stu. I actually don't think he was an Oilers fan because he put in, you guys are making the playoffs. Why are you so worried? And I don't want to go on this rant again because you're all very entitled to be upset about what's happening because it's playing so poorly.
Mm-hmm.
But this is fine. Like, they're gonna be fine. We all know it. They've played a lot of hockey to start the season. Yep. I think they've played the most in the NHL.
Close to it.
They have 3 days off here now, and their numbers are just average. They're just an average hockey team right now. I don't think we should act so much like the sky is falling so heavily on this organization at the moment because it's just not. They're just playing average, inconsistent hockey, and they will figure it out. No one's going to be surprised if they win 5 games in a row starting from Saturday to whatever the 5th game would be. Like, it just is annoying. I completely agree, but that's what it is.
Last thing I'll say, and then I'll calm down and we'll get to Colby. But someone in here who I've never even seen in the chat before says, getting upset at fans for being upset at players is Mickey Mouse behavior. I am not getting upset at fans for getting upset at players. I'm getting upset with fans who just always want to rip on Skinner. Like, you can be pissed off at Skinner when he plays bad. We get pissed off at Skinner when he plays bad. Where I push back and where I fight on the narrative is when he plays good and people still sit there and go, the goalie could have stopped one more and they could have won. Yeah, no shit. But it's very easy to watch the goals and see that none of those were the goalie's fault.
They're in a slump.
Again, if fans are mad about how the team is playing, it's because we know how good they can be from Janko. Yes, I agree with you. I am irritated that they're playing bad, but I'm also not going to sit here and be like, blow it up, fire Knobloch, call up Ingram, wave Stuart Skinner. Like, just don't be stupid. You can sit here and criticize the team with like quality intellectual points. It's the reason why we talk about the same 6 people who make comments in the chat because they're the ones who actually say smart shit most of the time. Mm-hmm. But the people who just sit there and they just hit a hammer on their head and go like, must be Bouchard's fault again. Like, watch the fucking hockey games. Let's go to the Star Mechanical guest line, Edmonton's #1 plumbing and heating company. You can find out more about them online at starmechanical.ca. As we are joined by one half of Morning Cup of Hockey, former NHL defenseman Colby Cohen. Hey, Colby, how are you doing?
I love that you guys give me that as my tagline. It's such a generous tagline that you guys give me. But I always like to say it wasn't a cup of coffee; it was like an espresso shot. That's what I like to say. So,
I mean, I was not on a Stanley Cup championship roster. Were you?
Not last time I checked my resume.
Yeah, I don't have an elite prospects page.
I do.
I got a lot of time in a suit and a lot of healthy scratch time. I was very close with the people in just about every press box around the Eastern Conference from a couple of really long playoff runs. And I made sure, hey, I knew I could get to the front of the popcorn line because I was really nice to the people that ran the popcorn line. You know, I was smart in that regard.
You were a professional hockey watcher, which made you very qualified to have a career in media. It's as simple as that. It's the same job.
Oh, man, something like that.
All right, let's talk about the Oilers. People are pissed off. They've won, 6 games out of their first 15. They're hovering around 500. It's not as bad as it was in years past, but it still has people kind of frustrated. What do you make of this Oilers team just kind of being flat?
I'm with Liam, you know, because I've been listening to the show for the last 15 minutes, and I was listening to you guys kind of talk about Stu and all the above. And it's funny, as I was, because I didn't see the game last night in transparency, but what I did when you asked me to come on today, I was just on Instat watching all of Bouchard's shifts and only Bouchard shifts. But you know, having gone through some of that game and I just don't. I think the Oilers have earned the right to be okay and be flat right now while they sort of sort out new additions. How do guys fit? I know Roslovic has had his moments where he's like been exciting to people, and then he's had his moments where he leaves you wanting more. And I think that's pretty much par for the course for him. But I think there's got to be a little bit of a feeling out period with a number of these new guys learning how to play around Connor McDavid, learning how to play around Leon Draisaitl. Like, that is not an automatic for every player. There's a bit of a deference for guys. Like you have Isaac Howard, who's this young kid with a ton of swagger, who's getting opportunities in and around those guys. So look, I have no panic in the world when it comes to the Edmonton Oilers. I have made that mistake in years past, and you guys have always made sure to rub my nose in it. Deservedly so, by the way, deservedly so. And I'm the first one to say it. And like I heard what you guys were talking about with Stu, and I want to comment on it because I get on him too. But I understand where you're frustrated with people that are making narrative-based conclusions rather than what they saw in their conclusions. And just going through the first couple of goals last night, like, you know, on the second goal, right? Like that starts with a turnover by Leon Draisaitl. They have possession of the puck, right? He makes probably a play that most of the time he connects on. He doesn't, right? And then Darnell Nurse makes a bad read on a 3-on-2. Like you can't overcommit to the net lane drive there and leave that other guy alone. And I know Roslovic didn't get back, but he was well behind that guy. You've got to play that as a 3-on-2 and not a 2-on-2 or a 1-on-1. So it's just like a bad read. And on the third goal, like Nuge is sleeping. He doesn't do a good job of picking up his guy because they get a little bit puck watching. These are things, guys, that will get sorted out. And I think with Stuart Skinner, like you just have to expect you're going to get 900 goaltending. He's a solid NHL goalie, and he's not paid like a superstar. We have to adjust our expectations for players based on what they make, right? That number represents higher or lower expectations. They don't pay him a ton of money. You're kind of getting what you're paying for with Skinner. By the way, 2 Stanley Cup finals, right? And I'm hard on the guy, but you've had 2 Stanley Cup finals with him. So I think you're getting exactly what you'd expect to get out of a guy who makes what he makes. And that's really it. Plain and simple. They didn't lose last night because of Stuart Skinner. No fucking chance. Can I curse on here? I'm sorry.
Please
Maybe
do.
I should.
No.
Okay, I will not. I will not. I'm sorry. I know the rules have we've shifted a little bit on that philosophy. We have certain sponsor partners on the screen. We don't do that. So I do apologize for that.
I'm kidding. I swore like 6 times in the 2 minutes where you came on.
Okay, so I like I'm with you on the narrative based stuff. It's frustrating and annoying to see. Like dig in a little bit more. And you know have your opinion. We'll respect it, but don't go on the narratives.
I might not respect it. Liam, where do you want to go next?
It's Johnny. I definitely won't respect.
I wanted to ask you, Colby. So Evan Bouchard obviously gets criticized from everyone when he makes a mistake, and most of the time it's probably fair. But then Connor McDavid comes out and he says that we all know who he is in the locker room. Like, we don't really give a shit what you guys are saying. Like,
Don't swear.
We're good for him. When the players are in the room and that happens, what kind of goes down? I know you obviously can't pick that exact situation, but like, what happens in that moment when you come into a locker room and you just blown a lead because your defenseman made a bad play?
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the reality about defense, and this is why it's a harder position to play, is that your mistakes are magnified 10x than a forward mistake, right? You are literally defense. You're the last line before the goaltender, right? I mean, as cliche and elementary as it sounds, like you can hide a forward. You can't hide a defenseman. And you look at how much Bouchard has the puck on his stick. The guy is a high risk, high reward player. And you've got to look and say, all right, how many tokens or tickets does he put in the bank? Because it's usually a lot. And then he gets to pull some out when he has those moments. Now, again, his moments do seem to be more head scratching than others. And I think part of that, and again, I just reviewed almost all of his shifts from the first period. And the only thing that really bothered me was on the 10:51 mark when he flamingoed on a penalty kill. Like he came out to block a shot, and it was pathetic. I mean, he did not want anything to do with blocking that shot. And then I compare that to the last few minutes of the game with Colorado last night, where Cale Makar literally laid his head down in front of a puck against Tampa in the last couple of minutes of a hockey game to keep the puck out of the net. So, like, stark contrast between those two defensemen. Now, one might be the greatest who ever played, but I think we look at Bouchard and we put him in the elite category. I think he gets paid like he's elite, right? So that was the only thing that bothered me. I think the other thing that has stood out to me a little bit more this year, guys, his body language has been a little more casual than it's been in previous years. Again, this is a guy who makes plays with ice in his veins with the puck, right? Those guys, they get a longer leash to make arrogant plays. They just do, because they can do what other guys can't do. So I think at times you're watching him and it almost looks like he's a little bit less engaged than other players because he is a little bit upright, right? His stick is a lot of times kind of around his waist. He's not a guy that generally plays with his stick on the ice. And I bet you Paul Coffey probably gets on him a little bit for that, because that is not the best habit in the world. But again, he's a guy that's going to make plays, and you just have to hope when the final bell rings, and it's been this way throughout the last couple of years, there's way more positive than negative. Unfortunately, we as a society, we only want to remember the negative and the bad. We don't want to think about the 10 good ones. We want to harp on the one bad one.
Well, and I think also, I was having this conversation last night, I think Oilers fans now are a bit numb to the good that Bouchard actually does.
It's kind of like McDavid when he got 1,100 points the other day. We're like, oh, another record.
Leon Draisaitl leads the NHL or is tied for the NHL lead in goals, and people in the chat are like, he's looked lazy. He's not having a good year. And like, we're guilty of that a little bit. But like, sure. Even with Bouch, I think if you were to watch a full game, like I like that analogy you used of like tickets, tokens he puts in the bank. Like, I think there's a lot more than fans maybe realize. Like a lot of really sharp passes that get the puck to the skilled players. Like
the assist on the first goal, he makes a simple little play up to Roslovic, who he puts him in stride. So Roslovic actually gains body position on that pass. And on the next goal, he doesn't get an assist, but he's got the third assist. The puck comes low to high. He makes a skip play where he passes off to like through that little like straight line seam. Yep. And then all of a sudden it's bang, bang in the back of the net. He doesn't get on the score sheet for that one, but he's the facilitator on the first 2 goals for the Edmonton Oilers. So how can we disregard that in a hockey game? Like you can't. It's ignorant if you do.
And that's why the coach lets him play 25 minutes a night.
Yeah.
Because he makes way better plays than he does. And I don't want to get it twisted. He makes terrible errors. Like there's certain moments where it's like, that guy needs to be better. But 9 times out of 10, it's like, it's really good. But people keep asking in the chat, Colby, and it's been a conversation throughout the season. McDavid and Draisaitl are playing a ton right now. And they're playing in every situation. They're playing penalty kill. Yeah. And same with Bouchard. Like, but then you get guys like Trent Frederic, who people are harping on a lot. He's had a tough start to the season, only 1 goal. Like, do you feel like as a team they should allow their bottom 6 to be more involved in, say, the penalty kill than allowing those superstars to be involved on the penalty kill?
You know, it's funny, guys, and I'm trying to get the chat up so I can see what's happening. So that's what I'm doing over on my other screen, trying to pull the chat up. But you know, to answer your question here is that I think when you have that level of superstar on your team, it's so difficult to not just consistently put him out there. I mean, look, I'm a new coach and I coach junior hockey, right? Like it's obviously not the National Hockey League, but I go into every game looking at, okay, like my bottom 6, we're going to get them more minutes on the penalty kill because we want to get them from 10 minutes a night to like 13, 14, maybe even 15 minutes for my third line, maybe even 12 minutes for the fourth line. And the game gets tight. We had a game last night, right? The game's tight late. And what do? I put 2 of my best offensive players on the ice to kill every penalty in the third period. Not only that, instead of running my 3 killing pairs, which I usually have, I have one, you know, three sets of 2 at forward. I wasn't even going to the third pair. I was going first pair, second pair, back to my first pair, right? 2 guys that are 20 years old. And it's really difficult and tempting not to do that because you know when those guys are on the ice, you just have such a higher level of trust in what they're going to do. And in the NHL, the name of the game is to win, right? It's a win now or get fired environment and league. And so if I had Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl on the ice, like their minutes would be obnoxious on my team. Their minutes would be obnoxiously high. No matter what my plan was and my intention was, how do you not get those guys out for 24, 3, 4, 5 minutes a night when you have them. And in the games, guys, where the score's a little out of reach and it's 4-1 in the third, you pull them back and you try to get them closer to 19 minutes instead. But when it's a tight hockey game against a good team in the National Hockey League, every team's good, but we know the varying degrees of it. We're all being, Monday morning quarterbacks, and we're all being, know-it-alls to sit here and say those guys are not going to play 24 minutes. It's reality.
I like this one from Marcus, who says, good decisions tend to go down in history as just common sense, and it's a recipe for being underrated. And it's right. It's like, dude, coaches, this is a big thing with baseball managers. Like, you bring in a reliever, he does well. No one sits there and goes, what a decision. They just go, yeah, good job. It goes bad. It's like, you're the biggest idiot ever. And it's the same thing with this. If he wasn't playing McDavid and Draisaitl, people would be in our chat going, why is he like shortening the leash on McDavid and Draisaitl? So I don't know, man. It's frustrating. Colby, I want one more to throw your way before we let you go. Just about the Eastern Conference as a whole. Obviously, you and Johnny on Morning Cuppa Hockey cover the entire league. But it's weird to look at this Eastern Conference right now. Every single team in the East is between 6 and 9 wins. Every team is within 13 and 19 points. So who's actually good and who's actually bad? Like, who do you like in the East? Who's legit out of this group?
Well, I think the thing that's creating this sort of weird moment we're having out in the Eastern Conference right now is this teams like Toronto and Tampa have been inconsistent this year, right? And Florida, Florida sits in 10th place in the wild card standings, right? So when you have those three teams that you expect to go out and win, 4 out of every 6 games not winning and at 500 records, that means points are going to be up for grabs. And are the Boston Bruins really a playoff team or really a competitive team? No, they're not, right? I do think the Red Wings have gotten some better goaltending this year. So you're seeing things play out a little bit more favorably, for that team. But I think the Montreal Canadiens are the team to watch. Do I think that the way that they play translates to a long playoff run? No. But I find myself right now constantly looking for the Montreal Canadiens on TV. They move the puck. They play positionless hockey. The way that they really do have a 5-man offense every time they're in the offensive zone. And obviously when you have Dobson and Hudson on back-to-back pairs, it gives you a hell of a lot of flexibility on things that you can do. So, I've really enjoyed watching those two teams play. Look, Carolina's Carolina. They just are what they've been. The consistency, the structure, the way they wear you down. I think they're a team that is going to probably try to make some sort of big swing and have some sort of big ad to really maybe push them over the edge. And then I think the other team that I'm watching pretty closely here is the New Jersey Devils. Not a lot of teams can keep up with the way that they skate. You've got 2 $9 million defensemen, right-handed shots with Dougie Hamilton or wait, is Dougie he might not be a righty. Or maybe Luke Hughes isn't the right. Are they both right shot defensemen? Now I'm in my own head. But you've got 2 $9 million defensemen, again, coming out on either shift, guys that possess the puck. They get up the ice. They put a lot of pressure on you. The New Jersey Devils, if Markstrom can give them 9-20 hockey, this is a year where they're going to be a real problem for anybody else. So I think it's been a combination of the big dogs not being the big dogs, Tyler, and I think that's just left a lot of points up for grabs within the Eastern Conference.
Dougie's a righty, Luke's a lefty. Okay. Last question. You got to answer it in 30 seconds because I know you got to go. People were putting this in the chat. Are the Oilers a playoff team, Colby?
Oh, come on. Don't even ask me that question.
Why did you give him 30 seconds?
And by the way, I want to compliment you on the poppy. I love that you have that. I'm going to order myself a poppy because I want to wear one here. I know there's only 6 days left where you're supposed to wear it until I believe November 11th, November 12th, something like that.
Correct.
But I love to see you wearing that poppy, Tyler. That's good on you. I love to see it.
I
can't believe you've done this to me.
To be fair,
why did you not buy me a puppy?
Liam, you're somebody that I defend all the time, and right now you're not giving me any ammo to defend your porn stash. Okay, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed that you're not wearing a poppy right now. I'll be honest with you.
To be honest, I'm also very disappointed. I come from
and you know what? I respect that about you. You're a stand-up guy. I respect that about you.
Thank you. I can't believe you got a puppy and didn't buy me a puppy.
I didn't buy one. I had one at my house.
I can't believe
Tyler's
this.
a team player. He would not have done that. I don't buy that he went out and bought one and then he didn't get you one. Tyler's a good teammate, Liam. Come on, we know
he is
that.
a great teammate. I agree. But you've done me bad on this.
There's a little bit of a suicide pass. I know.
You do look a little clownish not wearing one.
So wait, what's worse? What's worse? Me not bringing you one, or Pat Puff having one right there and not giving it to you before the start of the show?
Trying to sneak it over there.
Bring it over here quickly, and then we'll rewind.
Yeah,
I had to put you on blast a little bit for this, Liam, because
people know you're here.
You always, whenever I put something absurd on Twitter, Liam, I can always count on you to like it, and that I love that about you. I always go to text you, and then I'm like, oh wait, I don't have Liam's number. I got to get Liam's number. So
it's 780.
Okay.
All right, boys. I love you guys.
See you, Colby.
Thanks.
All right.
Bye. Colby Cohen, one half of Morning Cup of Hockey, which you can watch every weekday on the Daily Face Off YouTube. Pretty sure we got them working Fridays now, by the way.
No way.
I think they're doing Fridays.
TV. No one will know. Does this go on the left side, right? It goes over your
left side. Yep.
Honestly, I do feel bad about not having a puppy.
They don't work Fridays. Sorry.
I'm a big respecter of the troops. My family, big military family. My dad was in the military.
Mm-hmm.
My granddads were in the military.
Mm-hmm.
My uncles, great granddads,
big family of plumbers.
My dad fought in a recent war, which I won't tell you which one because I don't want anyone to be offended. But yeah, respect the troops.
Your dad was in the military, yeah.
There you go. Thanks, Pat. Do I have to give this back? I have one in my car that's like a metal one, like a badge. Almost.
Oh, like a legit. Yeah.
I do have one.
Legit.
So I'm honestly glad Colby called me out for that. Colby asked, "What about Craig Button?" That leads us into our next segment, Tyler. Oh, also Victor asked, "Where are you from in the UK again, Liam?" Long time shy listener here from Burnley, now living in Salmon Arm. Well, Victor, I am from Bolton, and Burnley and Bolton, two rival.
I hate
towns.
Burnley.
The Clarence, not for us. Let's talk about our old pal.
All right. So this is something that I knew was going to be popping up the second the Oilers had their first sign of struggles. This is why I am so happy that the Edmonton Oilers and Connor McDavid signed a contract before the start of the season.
Oh.
Because can you imagine the conversation right now if Connor McDavid didn't have a new deal?
I got asked this today. I was on What Chaos, and I said, I was like, having that on top of having to talk about Bouchard, Skinner, and Nurse every day, I don't know how I would do this show on a daily basis. I honestly don't. I think about it regularly.
I'm going to take the win on this one because I was like, it will be bad if he doesn't have a contract. Thankfully, he does. But we still get quotes like this. And there's a piece up at Oilers Nation right now breaking it down. Quote, Connor McDavid isn't going to wait. TSN's Craig Button. Connor McDavid was very clear. He said, I have no problem staying in Edmonton if we have a team that can win and win again. A very clear message. Then his actions spoke even louder. He said, hey, I'm going to give you the benefit of me taking this contract so you can go and strengthen the team in your way. The extension hasn't kicked in yet. What are we talking about? It's the same dumbass logic that applies to the people who go, they spent all the cap savings on Wallman. No, they didn't. That doesn't even come close to making any sense. Button ends it. And again, I have respect for Craig Button. He was an NHL GM. This is
what team?
Calgary Flames.
Oh, weird.
Why is he always so negative about the Oilers? The mandate is clearly on Stan Bowman and on the management team. He then went on to talk about Dylan Holloway and Philip Broberg.
Come on.
Not Stan Bowman's fault. Good Lord. He talks about Ryan McLeod and Warren Fogle were traded before Stan Bowman was hired. It's just insane. He ends up by going, Connor McDavid isn't going to wait for time. He's not here to fiddle with the dials. His extension hasn't kicked in yet. What are we doing here? The pressure is on Stan Bowman. Okay, everybody who wants to play armchair GM and say that the pressure's on Bowman, he's got to make a move. With what cap space?
He did make moves.
Really?
Like, he went out and made the team like a little bit younger, getting Ike Howard, like giving Alec Regula an opportunity this year. Like, God, wait. So fucking annoying.
20 days ago, what did the Oilers do? They signed Jack Roslovic to a bargain deal, and he had 2 points last night and is on a heater playing top 6 minutes. Got him for $1.5 million, Craig. Also, don't clip any of this, Eli.
It's me today.
Liam, don't clip any of this.
I might clip it. I might tag Craig, although he's private on Twitter now for weird reasons.
And Milik says, I hate this. McDavid is putting pressure on them. When wasn't there pressure on them? Yes.
Yes. Like, that's the other side of it that's just so moronic. Like, doesn't every GM in the NHL firstly just have pressure on them, like, to hit their goals and everything? Like, also, there's so many other superstars in the league who GMs also have those pressures on them. Like, it's honestly a lame-ass narrative. Like, it's super lame. It doesn't make any sense, and it's boring as fuck to talk about.
Rob, Frederic for 8 years was dumb. It is November 5th.
It doesn't look great right now. I'll give you that. Also, one thing in the chat we need to... I'm going to type this in the chat right now. A lot of people are spelling Frederic wrong, and it's...
I get names right?
I could forgive it a couple times. There's no K. I put it in the chat. You can just copy and paste that, keep it in your notes, and use it tomorrow. Because I know you're all going to make the same comments, and it's fine. I really don't care. But there's no Kane Frederic, for fuck's sake.
Oh,
let's
man.
get past that.
McDavid's not going to stand for this much longer. You know, he took less money on a deal that hasn't kicked in yet.
It's just boring.
And that's what Lauren says, too. This narrative's boring. Like, it is.
Lauren. New commenter. I've seen her the last few days.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks, Lauren. Question of the day. Should we do that?
Yeah, we can. I just want to look up one thing.
Oh, today is the 5th of November.
What's
It's
that
Guy
mean?
Fawkes Day.
Yeah.
My boy Victor and I would know that one.
So can I just... Trent Frederic, the year he scored 18 goals for the Boston Bruins. That was 2023-24. He had a run of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. He had a run of 17 games that season where he had 1 goal. And he still finished the year with 18 goals on the season, most of them coming at 5-on-5, all of them coming as he played bottom 6 minutes. When we sit here and talk about guys who are 15 goal scorers or 20 goal scorers, it is not as simple as, well, they score a goal exactly once every 4 games or once every 6 games. Every player in the league who is not a superstar player is inherently a streaky scorer. That is the way the sport works. You need to do things, and I get if you're frustrated that, you know, maybe Frederic hasn't been as physical as you'd like, although, go back to the Vancouver game, who was the first one to grab Evander Kane after he hit Alec Regula? Trent Frederic was out there.
He had 5 hits yesterday.
Had 5 hits. Yes. Who do you think, who leads the Oilers in hits? I want to find this out.
I would guess Podkolzin, but I bet Frederick's got to be top 3 just from this last week, to be honest.
Miscellaneous. And again, hits are sometimes whatever. All right, ready for the hit numbers for the Edmonton Oilers? Number 1, Vasily Podkolzin, 50. Number 2, Trent Frederic, 46. Number 3, Darnell Nurse, 27. Trent Frederic has 30 more hits than any Oiler forward not named Vasily Podkolzin.
Wow. He is bringing that level to it.
He is.
And that's what I think I want to see goals. We all do. Of course. I understand the frustration. But there is that side of the positive bit about it, is like he is bringing a bit of a presence. Again, last night he tried to grab Liam Bouchard. I think it maybe could have turned into a fight if Bouchard didn't fall.
Yeah.
But he's in there. He's doing something. I think this past week, probably since the Vancouver game onwards, his physicality has picked up quite a bit. And that's something we talk about. Is like, they're not physical enough. It's like, well, he is. And that's something we need to appreciate about him. Is that worth $3.8 million? No. But maybe the offense comes eventually and we can just forget about it. I'm very curious to see, and this is interesting. When Hyman comes back, let's just assume he goes to the top line, and Mangiapane comes down to the third line.
Mm-hmm.
That third line of Frederic, Mangiapane, and Henrique, I'm just going to assume Savoy goes down to the fourth line, whatever. That's a decent trio. Like, I think that could be like a bit of a energy line. Seems too extreme for it, but I think they can do some pretty decent stuff, like cycle it, play hard in the zone, that kind of stuff.
Can I give you something I'd love to see?
Please do.
I would either like to keep Savoy on the line with Frederic and Mangiapane, because I think that is a line that can actually generate some offense, or I would move Savoy up, play him with Leon and Roslovic, and I'd run a third line that's Frederic, Mangiapane, and Podkolzin. like a good identity line.
Maybe eventually. I think Podkol's, that trio's playing so well offensively right now that I wouldn't want to mess with it too much.
That is a fair point too. One more thing, Trent Frederic, 14.22 hits per 60, 24th in the NHL.
It's pretty good. Who's won? Let me guess. Kiefer Sherwood.
No, Kiefer Sherwood actually is barely ahead of Trent Frederic. He's 22nd.
Interesting. A comment here from John, and he said, Robbie Givenchy has 6 points in 5 games in the minors. Don't be surprised if he gets a lock at some point this season. What I'll say to push back on that, John, is Robbie Givenchy is not allowed to play back-to-back games right now. The Bakersfield Condors have put in a rule just for him because of his knees being so bad. Like, he needs to get his knees healthy again and get going, that they're just not playing in back-to-back nights. And in the AHL, you play a lot of Saturday, Sunday. So I don't think that's going to happen, honestly, anytime soon. But his numbers are good, I agree. Yep. But he's just not allowed to play every night.
Savoy too small is a dumb comment. Also, if you want to sit here and be like, oh, man, Trent Frederic for 8 years, what a massive mistake. Guess what big free agent signing this year just scored his first goal of the season?
As you know?
Nick Ehlers. He has 1 goal in 12 games. You can't sit here and be judging long-term contracts on the results of 1 month. Like, I can't believe we have to have conversations like this, but good Lord. Good Lord. Should we do our Spotify question?
Yeah, let's read the comments, because we did appreciate yesterday people going over to the Spotify and listening. Listening, firstly, yes, but also commenting. We haven't tried to do that before. Apparently, you can go live on...
Whoa, Pat Puff.
Pat Puff.
You like that?
That is lovely.
Like that?
That's a nifty move.
I do like that.
Okay, let's see if I can read them. She's actually... Jesse is in our current chat, and she's on the Spotify chat.
Okay. I just quickly want to say, ad read, for our friends at Odd Company Brewing and the Nation Beer Everyday Lager, a crisp, clean lager crafted not just for game days, but for every day. Find them one of their 2 locations in Edmonton, Ritchie or the downtown spot. Shout out to Odd Company. We wanted to get our podcast listeners more involved. The YouTube chat, we love you guys. You get to have your opinions heard all the time, but we're obviously... let me pump our own tires. We're obviously very popular on podcast form as well. So I wanted to give those listeners a chance to kind of have their say, and the algorithm likes it.
Yeah, good for algorithm.
Yeah, that's why we always tell you guys to like the videos. If you want to support the show, the best thing you can do is hammer the like button and send the link to your friends. If you send the link to people and hit the like button, just maybe if you and a friend both watch the show, just fire it back and forth.
If you have multiple accounts, go to that one, like it. Come back, go to your other one, like it.
You want to know a funny story from Halloween that I didn't share?
Okay.
So I'm watching the Jays game on Friday night with a bunch of my friends. And I'm blanking on the name now. But anyways, my buddy, you know Eli. WAP. His sister was trick-or-treating with her kid in my neighborhood. Okay. So they popped in and we gave them candy. And we're like, oh, do you guys want to come in, like have a drink? Not for the kids, they're young. But do the adults want to have a drink and like watch a bit of the game and warm up a little bit? And they're like, yeah, sure. So they come inside. And they had like a friend with them trick-or-treating with his kids as well. And I guess when he was leaving, he told Eli, as Eli was walking him out of my house, he goes, dude, that was Tyler Yaremchuk in the basement. Goodness. And Eli was like, yeah, man, you're in his house. And he was like, what? Where's the studio?
Where's the studio?
It was a very funny coincidence. Anyways, shout out to him. Let's get through some of these. So the question we gave people was an under-the-radar trade deadline acquisition that you'd like to see the Oilers make. And we asked for who you think the first goal scorer of the game was going to be.
Yeah. So we gave a few. Jesse was the comment again in the chat right now. First goal scorer, Bouchard, in terms of an under-the-radar trade deadline acquisition. What about acquiring Nick Bukestad? I loved his 6'6" frame and I thought I said handsomeness. It says right-handedness.
He's a good-looking dude.
Edmonton. Not bad.
Nick Bukestad, not Swedish.
Not Swedish. Lived in Mark Pisic's house when he lived here.
He did. That's a good little footnote. So the reason I don't think this is overly likely, one, he has term and St. Louis just signed him. So he's got 2 more years at $1.75 million. I have some amount of time for the player. I think he's fine. But when it comes to making upgrades with the limited cap space that the Oilers have, I would also be willing to put my hand up and say Noah Philp is just younger Nick Bukestad.
I think you might have Nick Bukestad at home.
Yeah.
Just the 2 centermen they already had. But I think what made Nick Bukestad so appealing the year the Oilers got him was that he made no money. Like he was a league minimum contract.
Mm-hmm. Next one we got is from William. He predicted the first goal scorer would be Jack Roslovic. Wait, he didn't score
No,
first. Pods did. Roslovic set it up.
Oh, the one underneath, though.
Also, for an acquisition, I'd love to see Brian Rust in Edmonton. He plays super hard, does great on the PK, scores at a good clip, and always comes in clutch in the playoffs. I'm a daily listener in South Carolina, even though summer stumbled upon mostly because of McDavid, since I'm a huge Penguins fan and Oilers remind me of the Pens a lot. McDavid, Draisaitl, Crosby, Malkin. Anyways, love the show a lot, even though it's not my team. Thank you, William.
Thanks,
it would be
William.
great if the Oilers and Penguins found a way to kind of make that move. It would require your Pittsburgh Penguins falling pretty hard in the next 3 months here, which could happen. Like, it's not an unrealistic thing. Brian Rust, again, the little bit of concern I would have is term makes it hard to get salary retention. So he's $5.125 million on the cap. For the Oilers to fit that in, they would either need someone to be hurt and on LTIR for the rest of the regular season, and then maybe you could find a way to make it work. Or you would need Pittsburgh to retain money on it, which Pittsburgh doesn't have any retained contracts on the books. So if Dubas is going to go about this the right way and be serious about like accruing legit assets, I have a lot of time for Brian Rust. Even though he's 33, if you could get Pittsburgh to keep $2 million of that for the next 3 years, I would have no problem trading a first-round pick and any prospect not named Savoy or Howard. Like, you can have whoever you want in my system and my first-round pick, and I will take Brian Rust at $2 million retained. I might give up 2 first-round picks for him because you'd get him for a couple of years.
I wouldn't go that high. But
First and any prospect, though?
for what, sorry?
For Rust at $2 million retained.
Maybe. I don't know. I think it'd be difficult to make that trade happen. Like
First
you said.
and Beau Akey? I'd do that.
Oh, ECHL Beau Akey.
Well,
Beau
yeah.
Akey sent down today. More on that later.
Yeah. Oilers also just don't have a lot of prospects, but that's fine. First round pick in the rights to Berezhkin. I'd do that.
Hell no.
No? Oh, man. Brian Rust is so good.
The Oilers need cap players, too. He is good. I think.
But if you're going to get him at, the big part of this for me is getting him at $2 million retained, because then he's a $3 million player for the next 3 years.
How old is he?
33. I'm fine with that.
No way.
He's so good.
No chance.
Next one comes in from Chandler, who I think we see in the chat every once in a while. At least I see him on socials. First goal pods, you nailed it, Chandler. I'd look at Philip Forsberg. If Nashville keeps dropping games, he could be a good impact winger. Chandler, let me tell you, you are low on Philip Forsberg, my friend. He's not a good impact winger for our top 6. He is a legit high-end first-line player. He's a 90-point player in Nashville, where he has no help.
He'd probably be the third best player on the team.
Yeah. Not probably. He would be.
Yeah.
He'd be so good. $8.5 million for another 4 years after this one. The only problem, and Jeff Merrick's going to join the show tomorrow and talk to us a bit about the Nashville Predators. Forsberg can't be a deadline ad because you could never fit in that money right now.
No.
You have to do it in the summer when you have cap space.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Kay Polanski is in and says, under the radar move, Zamula from Philly. Decent puck moving 5'6" D-man, youngish and on a decent deal. My push, first off, good suggestion. I like Yegor Zamula. Remember him from his WHL days. 1.7 million, then an RFA. Hell yeah. I don't think Philly's in a spot where they're trading a 25-year-old defenseman, especially considering kind of what they have coming in. Like, I think it's more likely if Philly sells, they're trying to offload the Ristolainens and the Sealers than it is they're moving a Zamula.
It is interesting, though. They do have 3 other left-handed defensemen that make more money than Zamula in Sealer, like you said, Cam York and Travis Sanheim.
Sealer can flip-flop, though. I think he plays both sides.
Right.
So like, they have some flex. I don't mind. That's a really unique name, so I'll give you full marks for that.
On everyone's front, his parents and from the commenter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If there was a deal with Philly, if Philly were to sell, where like, you know, like, is there a forward on Philly you like, is kind of what I'm thinking, where you would give up like a second-round pick and Ty Emberson because he's a true righty, and it would fix a little bit of their righty-lefty thing. Would you give up like Emberson and a first for,
They have no one.
Yeah, I know Owen Tippett's apparently available, who I like, but I don't know if I'm super.
I would take Owen Tippett. He's only 26.
Money's not good there, though. I don't know. You can't afford 6.2 in season.
No. The money, I thought you were just picking a player. Money sucks.
Yeah. Joshua is in. It says first goal scorer, Nuge. That's fine, though. It's hard to pick the first goal scorer. Under the radar pickup, Eberle. Yes, I like that. Last year of his deal, yes, 4.75. The no trade is not an issue at all, Joshua. I know you're probably just putting it in there to have the full context of it, but like Eberle 50% retained with Janmark going back to Seattle. you can make that work cap-wise beautifully in the back half of the season when you can just run with a shorter roster. Eberle would be an awesome pickup for this team. Generates offense at 5-on-5, can play up or down your lineup. I love the Eberle idea.
Yeah, they probably need someone on the third line or the middle six, I guess you could say, who could just score consistently for them at the back half of the season into the playoffs. And yeah, maybe Eberle can be that guy. We've seen him obviously have huge moments throughout his career.
Yep. Dirty Beads is in. Oilers should reacquire Derek Ryan. That's nope.
He isn't anywhere to acquire.
Yeah, no, he's just chilling, dog. Rochelle, female listener, or I think maybe under the radar pickup: Sherwood, Eberle, Kiefer Sherwood, Jordan Eberle, or Liam's dream defenseman Adrian MF and Kempe. Kempe can't be in season. LA will never trade him to you. Like Eberle, Sherwood's going to cost you a first-round pick. You can do better.
Yeah, Vancouver should cash in on Sherwood.
Yeah.
Will they? No. You're upset about the Trent Frederic deal. Just you wait till you see what Vancouver do with him.
Yeah.
Because he is not going to be scoring at the rate he does. Adrian Kempe would be awesome. Someone just put in our chat, McDavid would veto Kempe.
No, he
Buddy,
wouldn't.
the Oilers acquired Brandon Manning, and McDavid didn't veto that one. So I think we'll be fine.
Next one, the username is just a bunch of random letters. Not really under the radar, but with Nashville struggling, Philip Forsberg, again, just kind of talked about that. Would be hard to do in season, but this summer you will be hearing a lot of smoke about the Nashville Predators and some of these guys.
Because they're bad, and Barry Trotz has done a bad job.
Yeah. Tyler says first goal scorer Leon. Brad said Savoy. Alexander the Great said Savoy. Adam said bring back Dennis Grebishkov. Not Oe said Draisaitl on the power play. Dry. First goal scorer Nuge. So there you go. Thank you for dropping in your under the radar deadline. That was really fun. Those are good comments. Good job, Spotify. You lived up to the hype. Here's your question of the day. YouTube chat. Feel free to play along as well. If you could sprinkle, the Oilers are struggling at 5-on-5 right now. If you could sprinkle a little bit of, we'll call it heater dust. You just go up to a player and you give them a little bit of magic and boom, they are on a heater starting this Saturday against the Colorado Avalanche. Who's the player, Liam, that you would want to sprinkle the heater dust onto?
Evan Bouchard. Like, it's not because I think he's like definitely playing bad, like offensively, defensively, but like, I just want him to even out his game. Like, I want playoff Bouchard right now. Like, I want him to be known as like, everyone just kind of stops the conversation. It's like, this is a great defenseman in the NHL. But he needs to prove it for himself. So I would say him because I think he can push the others over the line a little bit too. Do you think that's a bad one?
My concern, I'm viewing this through the lens of like, I want the 5-on-5 scoring to get better. So I worry that if you sprinkle, the genie that's allowing you to do this is just going to give Bouchard a bunch of power play points and the 5-on-5 scoring won't get better.
But the power play points were already there.
Yeah, that's fair. I would say there's a couple players I considered. I honestly think I would go Trent Frederic. One, shuts up a narrative, which I love shutting up a narrative.
Yeah. That's my Bouchard. That's kind of my Bouchard.
Also, like, he is playing away from Connor and Leon. If he were to get hot, it might lift up some other guys with him as well. So, again, I do think he's not been unlucky this season by any stretch of the imagination, but he's got more to give. So I don't know. I think a guy like Trent Frederic, I wouldn't mind seeing him go on a heater where, again, if he could just score, and we're not talking about like 6 goals in 3 games or like something stupid like that. If Trent Frederic can just go out there and give you 3 goals in the next 5 games, gets a timely goal, right? Like maybe they get a blowout win. He's involved in the offense, whatever it is. I like Trent Frederic. I also do like the other name, and he's the favorite in the chat. It's Savoy. Yeah. And I like this one from McNuggets. Savoy's been doing all the little things well. Would be nice to see him rewarded. Absolutely. If he could get scoring here, and that's not like a diss on him or whatever. Like, he's doing things right. He just needs a few bounces. If he can get scoring, oh my God, this fan base will fall in love with the guy, and we won't have the dumb comment saying he's too small. He can fly. He was moving his feet so well yesterday against Dallas.
I think he's just such a skilled player, but just hasn't been able to show it as often as he would have liked and we would have liked to have been. Matthew Savoy, 5'10", allegedly. Let me just look up one other name here.
Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, by the way, is over a point per game player, so he doesn't count as an answer. Yeah. He's on a heater.
He's on a heater offensively. I want the team to be on a heater defensively. That's kind of my thing, is that if I could sprinkle it just over, just a little bit of fairy dust over the entire bench or on the team playing as they're flying home, defense. Play defense hard. 60 minutes. 60 minutes hard. Someone made a comment yesterday on the After Dark chat. Thank you for watching. Please go rewatch it because it got taken down. I had to repost it. You said, and I agree with you, that you can't play 60 minutes of hockey. You can't play a good 60. I think it is a very cliche term. Yeah. And I think what needs to be understood is that it doesn't mean like playing a full 60 isn't just like 60 minutes of dominance. Like, you just need to like when you have bad moments, you can't collapse. I think is kind of the point, right? Yeah. And so that's what I would say for people who like questions like you need to play full 60. It's kind of difficult to do that. It's just don't fall apart when it does when you're playing bad. You know what I mean?
And I agree with you. I actually talked about that on my After Dark.
That's what I mean. Someone commented that, and it was like Tyler said. I didn't hear that. Tyler said you can't play a full 60. It's like you kind of can't.
And like the NHL's so good, that teams are always going to have their moments where they take over a hockey game. Like, you're truly not going to go full on belt to ass for 60 minutes, outshoot a team 40-12, and then win the game 6-0. Like, that's not really how the sport works when it's played at a high level. There is a bend but don't break kind of angle to things that the best teams have. And right now, the Oilers don't have it. When the Oilers bend, they absolutely break.
Oh, they explode.
Yeah. I like some people were saying Skinner. It wouldn't solve the 5-on-5 scoring, but like Mulek says, if he could rip off like 2 shutouts and have a 10-game stretch where he's 920, man, that would feel good. Would help you win a lot of games. Laptop closed. Liam's about to get serious.
If you can score 5-on-5, you stop the shitty goals in going at the end of the game. Because you can end teams earlier. And the Oilers just lack that killer instinct so much. I look at that game yesterday. I truly believe this. And the same one the other day. And I know you scored 2, but if you just get a third, like you're this offensive team, who you're supposed to be that offensive team, you're winning that game. We don't have to talk about the collapse.
I agree. So like out of the games they've blown, the 4 games where they've legitimately blown the leads. Last night, I will say it's on defense, not on the offense. But Monday on the offense.
Well, no, I would say it's on the offense in the extent of like in the second period, you had no quality chances. Like if you get that third goal, it's over.
They did get it early in the third, right?
It was mid-third. I mean, sure. I mean earlier in the game. This is my point. Sorry, continue.
The Ottawa game, you went on to win it 3-2 in OT, but like if you just get a third goal, and they eventually did, but like the offense like comes through and like wins it for them against Calgary when they blew that lead in the season opener. They had a power play in overtime and didn't score on it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. You score on that power play in OT, and we don't talk about Stuart Skinner's gaff nearly as much or any of that stuff.
Even the Rangers game. You have one at the end of the game, and again, a gaff by Bouchard, but like you had your opportunity, and the power play's playing really well, and of course it can't score every single night, but there's certain nights where you need it to score in comparison to others. Yeah. And those examples you gave were correct.
Yeah, it's... I don't think it's unfair to be looking at this Oilers team, as much as I will recognize that the goaltending has not been as good as you'd like, specifically Pickard, as much as I will recognize that the blue lines had some horrific gaffes. I don't think it's unfair to look at an Oilers team and say, I want my Edmonton Oilers offense to win me hockey games. That should be their DNA. Their DNA should be, you can... come at us. We will score 4 goals a game and beat you. We will take advantage of every mistake. We will hem you in your own zone. It's not unfair to think that this Oilers team should be playing like that and should be having more games like that.
I just want them to be killers.
Yes.
Like, have some authority about your game and end them. Yeah. Like that St. Louis game, nobody wanted to be there. No one on the ice wanted to be there. No one in the stands wanted to be there. And you missed a huge opportunity, and it led to you blowing a game.
Yeah. Let's get to what's trending for our friends at the Jasper Pond Hockey Tournament. We're going back this January, and I cannot wait. One of my favorite weekends of the year. We're playing pond hockey on beautiful Lake Mildred at the Fairmont JPL. Tourism Jasper, Canadian Hockey Enterprises do a bang-up job of organizing all the logistics, and we come and bring the vibes. Come play hockey with us. Come spend a weekend with us. We have great memories in the hot tub, all of that stuff. The Jasper Pond Hockey Tournament this January. Go to nationgear.ca for more. Beau Akey was sent to the ECHL. The fact he hasn't played a game yet in the AHL likely means that this is conditioning.
Yeah, he's been injured.
Yeah.
So I believe he got banged up in training camp whenever it ended up being sometime in the preseason. He's going down the Fort Wayne, which is You see this on paper and you're like, holy smokes. But that is the context behind it. Is like, he's just not been playing because he's been out.
Yeah.
He needs to find some confidence here. He's in an unfortunate spot that the NCAA rule didn't come a little bit earlier. I think he would have benefited from for some time in college.
Yep, I agree. Next one I got in what's trending. We got to be careful with it because we already got a small warning.
Yeah, let's try and do no video.
Did you see the goal in the Minnesota-Nashville game yesterday?
I did. I did see the goal in the Nashville game, which was nuts.
Insane.
Yeah.
Basically what happened was Marcus Johansson scored and the net was way off. They deemed it a goal because they said Justus Annunen pushed the net off intentionally. But Marcus Johansson misses on his first attempt. Like, to me, this goal can count, and you can say, like, the goalie intentionally pushed it off, and it would have been a goal if he didn't, which is what they said. I think you can do that if he scores on the first opportunity. But the fact it hits the side of the net and only bounces back to him because the net is swinging around on the other mooring, and then he puts it in, that negates it. You need to score on the first chance. Otherwise, it's a delay of game penalty, and the goal doesn't count.
I also don't think that's what the rule is intended for. Like, the rule is intended for, like, when guys are coming down on 2-0s and the goalie just turns around and pushes the net off. Like,
yeah.
I don't think a goalie ever in a split moment like that is like, I'm going to push the net off.
So Hutz disagreed with that. Hutz said, like, this is gamesmanship from Annunen.
Oh, really?
He said you can see his glove, like, extend and knock it.
I get it. You definitely can. I'm just I'm surprised by that.
Yeah, I just think this is something where, again, if he scores on the first attempt, I'm fine with it. If not, whatever. Speaking of what's trending, obviously the Oilers had another shootout game yesterday. And if you're sitting there and you're someone who follows the whole league and you're like, boy, shootouts are up this year, it's because they are, Liam. And this is a bit of an inexact science for me because I didn't know any other way to count it. But I went and I took the first month of this season where every team's kind of played between 12 and 15 games. And I looked at the first month of last season, and I just basically set the dates to like when it looked like every team had played between 12 and 15 games. Mm-hmm. So far this season, 21 games have gone to a shootout. Last year at this point, it was only 10. We are at twice as many games going to a shootout right now in the NHL. And if you include OT, just games that are getting past regulation, so far this year, there are 60. Last year, there were only 44.
Interesting. I think it's time to extend the overtime.
I don't understand the arguments against it. When people are like, oh, the players will never agree. It's more taxing on their bodies. How could a competitive NHL player, how could Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl be okay with these games ending in a shootout? I don't get it. As much as Draisaitl's shootout goal was nasty as all hell, awesome. You're telling me those guys don't want games to go to, or want overtime to continue?
I don't really understand it. I think overtimes are just exciting. And I think the players probably looking at it as, this is fun to be a part of when you look back at it. Like, look at the talent that was on the ice last night between those two teams. Like, that was fun from, like, trying to watch from a neutral perspective. And, like, I don't know about you guys, but, like, I could turn the TV off and never watch a shootout again. And I couldn't care less what the outcome is. Like, I just don't care if the Oilers win or lose in a shootout because it's just, like, it's just a skills. This isn't the All-Star game. You know what I mean?
If we get 2 to 3 Oilers shootouts a year, I'm happy.
Yeah, that's fine.
To me, that's like, hey, it's a fun little treat. Every once in a while, a game goes to a shootout. Like, oh, look how wacky it is kind of deal, right? I really don't like when it's this many. Like, 2 in the first month for the Oilers is too many.
Yeah, and then you get it where it's like, how did the goalie not stop that?
Yeah.
What is one-on-one attempt with some of the best players in the world? Like, I don't think it's entertaining. I actually think it might be one of the lamest things in sports.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather the game ended as a tie. I really would.
The Oilers only have 2 shootout wins in their last 179 games. Last year, they didn't win once in the shootout either. I'm trying to see how many games actually went to a shootout, but I can't find that.
Interesting.
Wins, regulation, overtime wins, 9 OT losses, and no shootout wins. Yeah, that's crazy.
I did do the quality start meter in the chat today because I wanted to get their thoughts.
And
people voted for it as a good start by Stuart Skinner.
And I agree with that. Again, people will sit there and be like, not a 900 save percentage. That's one of those games where save percentage does not do justice what Stuart Skinner did in that hockey game.
Skinner's played 2 games so far in November.
Yep.
Chicago and this one, we give him a thumbs up for both. He has only allowed more than 3 goals once this season, which was the overtime loss against the Rangers.
Someone said, what would be quicker, a shootout or double OT time? Double OT time.
Double OT. People don't like the tie idea, but like, it's more fair to give. You're just giving each team a point anyway.
I'm out on ties.
I just don't think
I need a winner.
But
every game.
I'd rather just be like, game ends than have to watch a shootout. I
disagree
would.
on that. I want a winner. I want finality to every game.
I'm not too bothered about it.
That's the footy in you.
Yeah, maybe it is. I just rather they extended the shootout and then we didn't have to talk about shitty. Extended the overtime. We have to talk about shitty shootouts.
Someone said, I bet if shootouts went our way, you guys would have different views on it. No,
it's bad.
I don't like them.
No,
I don't understand why the players don't want to do double OT. I don't understand why the league doesn't. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's something about like one less commercial break for the broadcasters. But like, if that's the case, what are we doing here?
I just think it would end a lot more. The one thing that would actually really help it is the overtimes. If you did the zone thing, you change the zones a little bit, and like maybe there's a bit of a shot clock of some kind. I don't know. Shot clock would be hard to do in hockey.
I don't want to make the game more confusing.
But I think you could do the blue line thing. There's just got to be a way where, like last night, we saw like Miro Heiskanen and Esa Lindell on the ice against McDavid. They're basically holding him.
Yeah.
You can't have that every time McDavid goes on the ice because that kind of eliminates the purpose. I think if they're just to extend it in some way, there has to be some manipulation of the rules. I don't know what it would be. Maybe the red line thing is a bad idea, but like just trying to think of something different.
The hole I've kind of poked because you're not alone in bringing up the over and back rule where like once you're past the red line, you can't pass it or you can't bring it back out past the red line kind of thing. The only thing where that messes up is like at what point, what constitutes a pass? What constitutes passing the puck back over the line? Like couldn't a player just wind up as hard as he could and rim one around the boards and be like, oh, it was a shot attempt. I just missed. Right? Like, there's too many. Hockey's too much of a variable-driven sport.
The one rule that might help it, just don't make, like, so teams pull goalies, sometimes you don't get the losing point, right? Just make it so that isn't a thing. So then it ends quicker. You know what I mean? Be like, okay, so you pulled the goalie in overtime, this is.
Yeah.
And now you get your extra forward. But if the other team scores on the empty net, then the losing team doesn't get the loser point.
Yo, you wanna add a little like, hey, pull your goalie every once in a while.
Yeah, like add a bit of chaos to it.
That would be I would be okay with that. Cause like 4-on-3, I mean, there's so much open ice, and like again, if you miss on a shot, the other team could very easily go down the ice and score into an empty net, and this thing's over. They need one big save to like flip the script a little bit here.
Yeah, it's
okay.
It's not as for the team with 4 players as it may seem.
I have one that I like now. You can pull your goalie in OT, and there is no like rule about, because the rule right now, for people that don't know, if you pull your goalie in overtime and the other team scores into the empty net, you forfeit your loser point, which is crazy, but that's what they do. What if not only were you allowed to pull your goalie, but if you pull your goalie and the other team, and there's a stoppage, you cannot put your goalie back in until the play resumes.
Oh, that's fun. People are getting the thing wrong. I'm saying eliminate the rule of if you get scored on, you don't get the loser point. You should still get your loser point. It should encourage teams to still pull the goalie.
We want teams pulling their goalies, but then I want the flip side where like you can pull your goalie and get the 4-on-3. If you miss on your chance and it goes out of play or the goalie covers it up, you can't put your goalie back in until that puck's on the ice. And like, you need to line up like a normal face-off and pray to God that you win that shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why not?
Let's make it a little bit of minor hockey week here.
Yeah.
One-on-one.
You know, I was on the ice once when we lost in one-on-one.
I've heard many tales of one-on-one hockey. I wish we could do it in the NHL. McDavid versus Heiskanen.
Can you imagine last night? Like McDavid, v. Heiskanen versus Harley. And like they're just going back and forth. There was that one shift yesterday in OT with Mangiapane and Podkolzin. They were gassed. Oh my God. It was a miracle that they didn't get scored on.
Do you know what though? Like that trio, credit to him for not getting sloppy.
Yeah.
They actually held their own in there, and like it wasn't pretty by any means, but they blocked a couple of shots. They applied the correct pressure, I guess you could say. A pretty gutsy effort from those three. Also interested to see Podkolzin in an overtime. Yeah. We have not seen that very much. It just shows where he's at.
So there was a play when Dallas missed their chance and the puck went out to the neutral zone, and you could tell it was on the close side, and Mangiapane was just like huffing, and you could tell he just like took a deep breath and was like, and went back full speed again. It's like, man, these guys are in insane shape.
Yeah, I'd be gassed. Trying to get on the ice.
All right, one more thing for what's trending, or a couple more things actually. Canada is going to be releasing their Olympic jerseys tomorrow. no Olympic jerseys will ever be better than the ones in 2010, right? Those are the best.
1 second.
You're going to Google them?
I'm just going to look. I think I know what they look like. Oh, yeah, those were awesome. I didn't live in Canada when this was happening, so I had to refresh my memory.
They were great.
Those were great. I did like the ones they did at the World Cup of Hockey a few years ago, but I think,
actually also really liked the Four Nations one.
Yeah, those weren't bad too. They typically make a decent jersey. Is it worth bringing back the old Hockey Canada logo with like the blacked out hockey player in there?
I think that's the logo they might use.
That's what they're going to go with? Just because I'm looking at this one, it's just a maple leaf.
Yeah.
For a lot of them.
But I like just the maple leaf. I think it's cool. Also, I don't like when they have black in their jerseys because like there's no black on our flag. The jerseys should be red and white, and that's it.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Shane Bieber left insane money on the table to come back to the Toronto Blue Jays.
He did.
If people missed this yesterday, baseball still they have player options and team options. So like you can sign a guy to a 3-year deal and say like the 3rd year is a team option, or a player like Bieber could sign a 2-year deal and say, hey, for that 2nd year, it's a player option. So if I do really well, I can opt out and go get a bigger ticket free agency. If I do bad, I have the comfort of like trying my contract year again. Bieber exercises his player option and will be making $16 million next year. Damn. The interesting part of this is that if he would have opted out, the Jays would have owed him a $4 million buyout. So he basically opted back in on a 1-year, $12 million deal. The projections for him, the 2 projections I saw from, I think it was Spot Rack or whoever the baseball one is, and Baseball America, 5 years, $150 million, 3 years, $75 million. And Shane Bieber is coming back to the Jays for basically $12 million next year. Insane value. And the Jays already, with Gosman, Bieber, and Yasavage, they're probably going to pay up for another pitcher in like the $150, $200 million range.
Oh, wow.
They will have the best rotation in the majors next year. Next to the Dodgers, I guess.
So who's missing out of that? Like Chris Bassett, is he come back as something?
Bassett, I feel like Bieber opting back in means no Bassett.
Gotcha.
Unless he's cool being like a swingman. Also, we don't know what's going to happen with Jose Barrios.
That's what my other question was. Is he around? Like, I know we talked about this a little bit, but he was just not there.
He just left for the World Series, which I think is pretty bad. I wonder if they'll try to trade him, but again, his money's probably pretty hard to move.
It's too bad. He was a decent player.
Yeah, I loved Jose Barrios, but again, had a bad year. All right, there you go. That's what's trending for the Jasper Pond Hockey Tournament. We'll wrap up with some bets for our friends at Bet365. Download the app today. Use the promo code NATION. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Couple of games on tap tonight. Do I like anyone as underdogs? Ooh. Chicago plus 140 taking on the Canucks. I'll bite on the Hawks as dogs.
They on the road?
Yeah. Make you nervous?
No. Vancouver, not that good.
Vancouver, agreed, not that good. Although they've won more games than the Oilers this year. Yikes.
Sure, that'll continue.
But they are 2-3 at home, and the Hawks 2-3-2 on the road. So, yeah, I don't mind the Hawks. Not a great slate tonight, though, if I'm being honest, in the NHL. Nothing that really gets me going. Maybe the Sharks plus 140 against the Kraken. Maybe I'll start betting against the Kraken. Here's where we'll end it. Who do you think has been the most profitable NHL pick or NHL team in the league this year on the money line?
The Penguins.
Ooh, that's probably smart. Can I get there? Come on. It's frozen.
Oh, no. Has to be the Penguins.
Maybe I'll tease the people and we'll just have it tomorrow. Here we go. Home money, away money, money. The Habs are up. You'd be up $500 if you bet $100 on every Red Wings game. Penguins are only 413. So in the East, the most profitable team is Detroit. And in the West, the most profitable team is...
I guess the
that's a minus. Edmonton's the least profitable betting team in the NHL
because they're heavy favorites every game.
Yeah,
and they also don't win that often.
If you bet $100 money line on every single Oilers game, you'd be down $545. Second is St. Louis. Oh no, sorry, Calgary is the worst, minus 715.
Oh,
yikes! Most profitable team in the West is Utah, Anaheim, up $425 if you bet $100 on any Anaheim game, every Anaheim game.
They've had a good start to the year.
Yeah.
Big hit last night from Leo Carlson. Not getting suspended.
Yeah, he's good. I like Leo Carlson.
He's a very good player.
All right. That is a wrap on today's edition of the show. Ask Doobie, dropping later on today, right here on the Oilers Nation YouTube. So tune into that with our friend Devin Dubnik, weekly show with him. Find it wherever you get your podcast from as well, for those of you on Spotify. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Shout out to Colby Cohen for joining us today. And we'll see you all back right here tomorrow, noon Mountain. Oil up. What's up, Nation citizens? If you enjoyed today's episode of Oilers Nation Everyday, make sure you hit the subscribe button here on our YouTube to not miss any of our content. We got you covered from interviews, insight, analysis, everything you need to stay up to date on everything around the team. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video.